So let's create some context. PwC receives thousands upon thousands of applications for their internships every single year, and they recruit most of their students from well-known universities, hosting campus recruiting days and things of the like. So how was I, an 18-year-old from a no-name school with zero connections, able to cut through the noise and secure such a selective internship and ultimately a full-time job offer with a company like PwC? In today's video, I'm sharing the exact resume that I used to apply for my internship and sharing a few interview tips that you can use in your internship or job search, regardless of the industry that you're in. Hey wealth builders, and welcome back to The Bemused, where we are making sense of all things money for young adults just like me. So if you're into that, I hope that you come join the squad by hitting that subscribe button and turning on post notifications by clicking the bell icon so that you never miss a single video from us. So during the summer of 2016, I worked as a tax intern at PwC's New York office. If you don't know what PwC is short for PricewaterhouseCoopers and is one of the most reputable accounting firms in the world. It is one of what's known as the Big Four accounting firms, along with Deloitte, Ernst & Young, and KPMG. So I was going through some documents the other day and I came across my resume that I used to apply to my internship. So I thought it would be a cool idea to share the resume with you guys, but also critique my resume at the same time and see if there's anything that I'd do differently today. So here she is. This is the resume that I used to apply to my internship. So overall impressions, it's not very different from what I have now. I basically have been building on this template. I've changed some things, like now my resume has a different font, but generally the formatting is similar. First impression, looking at this now after 3 years, is I'm just amazed at like how much I've done in the past 3 years. Like there's so many things now on my resume that looking at this now, it looks so like sparse. But anyway, starting from the top, I have my full name with my middle initial. And if you guys haven't seen my resume tips video, I'm gonna make sure I link that in the cards so you can see all of my top tips for resume writing. So that's cool. Here, of course, I just altered this because y'all don't need to know my full address, phone number, or email. But what I would do differently now is I wouldn't have put my full address. I think I'd just go with city and state, but that's cool. My LinkedIn profile, yeah, still have that on my resume. Education, that all looks good. I list my GPA, my degrees. I also listed when I was planning to graduate, May of 2017. That was especially important for PwC because they are really looking to, you know, give job offers where they can after your internship. And so it's important for them to know when you're planning to graduate. And because they want you to have a certain amount of credit hours to sit for your CPA exam before you start with the company, that is actually a really important piece of information when you're dealing with the Big Four specifically. Then I listed my relevant courses, which, you know, I'm not mad at. Of course, I don't have that on my resume now that I've finished my degrees, but this was a good way to show demonstrated interest and that I've taken some relevant classes in accounting. My skills, I also no longer have that on my resume today, but that's because I have a lot more work experience and experiences that speak to the skills that I have, and so I've cut down a lot on that section. But, you know, clearly it was great for this purpose because I mean I got the interview and got the job. So, and then my experience. So this was junior year of college, and my first impression is why is this not aligned right, like these two? Like what was I thinking? But I guess I got away with it. So I definitely just aligned this right. But in terms of the descriptions of my work experience, I think this was pretty cool. So you see the three positions that I have listed. So I was the financial vice president of my student association. So demonstrating leadership, which I know is an important quality for PwC and their whole marketing materials and all that kind of stuff. I also had a finance internship that I had done the year before, and I've also worked in the financial aid office at my school, as you guys know, so that's also listed on there. Another thing I would have done differently is in the description of my student financial services job. You see how I have assisted like 3 times on this resume? Yeah, that probably could have been better. use different verbs, diversify the verbs that I use to describe my work. That's probably the only thing I do differently here. And then honors activities and professional organizations, I still have that section on my resume where that's basically my catch-all for my honors, my certifications, my professional organizations, and any, other relevant activities. Again, show demonstrated interest here by putting that I was a student affiliate member of the AICPA, which is the professional organization for accountancy. So that was great. So overall, I'm not mad at this, and clearly PwC wasn't mad at this either. If you actually want to download a copy of my resume template, this resume template, if you like it, I will have it available, so you can go in the description box below to get that free download. And that way you can use it as a template to kind of build your own resume. But overall, I think this resume was really solid for the stage of life that I was at, being a college student. So to get my internship, I also went through several rounds of interviews, both on the phone and in person. To prepare for my interview, which is another crucial part of the whole process of getting the internship, I scoured the internet looking for different interview questions that had been asked historically, and also just some basic questions that everybody should know going into an interview. I still have the document where I wrote down all of these questions and my potential answers. And if you think this list of questions might be helpful for you, I'll make that available for download as well. Check out the links in the description box below. I think these are just questions overall, no matter what industry you're in, just questions that everybody should know when you're going into an interview that will really give you a leg up when you are looking for an internship or a job. These questions are definitely applicable to lots of different industries. So there's a lot to learn even if you're not in accounting specifically. So here are some of the questions. 1, who are the key people in the organization? So I make sure I walked into that interview knowing who the US chairman was and the head of the tax line was for PwC. You also want to go with the compelling story about why you want to work for that specific company. A couple of other qualitative questions I wrote down. Describe a time where you looked at a set of data and recognized an error. And describe a situation where you were working in a group and had a conflict with someone. How did you handle the situation? So like I said, these are some questions that I found online, just a mix of things that people were reporting that were asked in interviews, and also just some general interview questions that are pretty standard across the board. So again, for the full list of questions, I'll have that linked in the description box below if you're interested in getting that list. If you care to hear more about my internship experience or have any career-related questions, please let me know in the comments below. To watch another video on resume writing tips, make sure you click on the video that will be on the bottom left of your screen. And for another video picked just for you, make sure you hit the video on the top left of your screen. And to subscribe, hit that button on the bottom right. Make sure you also click the bell to turn on post notifications so that you never miss when we post new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.